Hello guys, it's Jackie Felix here, and today I just want to make a quick video in response to Shaky Bay. The video Shaky Bay made today about what he sees as the biggest problem in BDO currently. And before we start, I just want to state that, I don't disagree with everything he said in the video. There are things I do agree with. For example, people in Siege and feeling forced to reroll caster to try to become more relevant. And I also agree that in some aspects of large scale session wizards are definitely overpowered and very strong, especially at the higher gear levels. Now also there's a lot of stuff I disagree with, mainly because some of the stuff he said in the video is just flat out wrong, incorrect, and it's misinformation again. And as you guys know, Shaky Bay is a very experienced and very active member in the Node War and Siege scene. He has a lot of experience on caster as well, playing Witch and Wizard, and yeah, he has a lot of experience. What else can I say? So I just want to point out today some of the points he said in this video, which I disagree with, and I'll just go through them right now one by one for you guys. So the first thing he said is only way to participate in MMO aspects is through PvP. Now this isn't true. It's not true in BDO. It's not really true in WoW. It's not true in a lot of MMOs. There are large-scale, PvE events. There are social RP events such as weddings, gathering. There's also in video specifically. There's guild enhancing events. There's a lot more to do in BDO than just PvP, and I would hope that Shaky Bay can realize that. Now, second thing he says after that is the most viewed content on Twitch and YouTube is PvP usually, and especially in Twitch streams, when PvP happens, Twitch numbers rise, they fluctuate because of PvP. And I don't think it's mainly because of the PvP why the Twitch numbers fluctuate so much, mainly because of the drama which is behind the PvP, right? So I think the PvP is there, it's interesting to watch, but I think why most people come in and watch it is more because of the drama than the actual PvP. Now the next thing it says is that the most number of casters in a guild win Siege usually, which again is not true. I've been sieging for 3 to 4 years, and I can tell you that being a strong and competitive Siege guild relies on numerous other factors rather than just the number of succession wizards you have in a guild. Some of these factors can include, how skilled your individual players are and how well they cooperate and work together as a team. And these teams can include cannon teams, defense teams, flex teams, special teams, deny teams. It's also relevant to how good is your shot caller, how good is your main ball shot caller, how good is your flex shot caller, how well coordinated is your main ball shot caller working with your flex caller. And also it's about gear as well. Gear plays a huge part in how strong guild is. It's also about class composition. So there's a lot of things that come into play in terms of guild strength, Siege guild strength, rather than just the number of casters you have. And I would hope that Shaky Bay would realize this if maybe he did a couple of sieges or he was in a siege guild and actually did castle sieges. I'm sure he'll realize this. Anyways, moving on from that point, he also talks about how you're not going to get looked at as an individual unless you're a caster for Node War Siege Guild. Which again, this is slightly true, but not really that true to a degree, because, Node War and Siege guilds do look at other classes other than Witch and Wizards. Obviously, they want Witch and Wizard in the guild, but there are, you know, in my experience, if you're skilled at a separate class and you have the gear, and you meet the gear requirements, and you do well in the PvP trial, there really is no reason a guild should or would deny you, right? At least that's been my experience within the past 3 or 4 years, and I've been Black Rose, I've been Corrupt, I was in Kyokai when I first started, and I was also in Aftershock. All these guilds, when they're doing their PvP trials, they're not just looking at casters. It's not like, if you're not a caster, we're not going to look at your application. But obviously, you know, if you're a caster, does help, right? Because casters are designed to be strong in large scale. And that's what guild officers want in the guild for large scale, right? Because they want to get stronger in that aspect. And also you have certain individuals that might be on defense, they might be on flex, they might be on cannons, and most of these positions don't require you to really have a caster on them, right? Alright, on to the next point. He says, you cannot do anything against caster in a 1v1 situation unless you play a caster. And also says that Succession Wizards have 2 bad matchups. And Shaky Bay says that they realistically don't have any bad matchups at all. Now, I'm not sure how he's getting where he's getting this opinion from, because I'm pretty sure for anybody that's really ever played Wizard or Witch, you'll realize that even in Succession there are a lot of bad matchups in 1v1. You know, mainly these revolve around classes that have high protected mobility and also grab, right? And just to name a couple, I would say, you know, Striker Mystic, they have inherent evasion against magical damage. They also have a lot of protected movement, and they can have multiple grabs depending if they're on Awakening or Succession. Some of the most oppressive matchups for Succession Wizard is Succession Valk and Warrior. Also Hash, Awakening Lion Tamer. And if you're a person or caster that has done a lot of 1v1s, you would realize this. Hopefully, so yep. Alright, next point. There's that in addition to large scale, small scale, Node Wars, Siege, and also GVGs, casters also dominate Arena of Arsha. Which again, you know, I've been involved in a couple of tournaments in AOA within the past couple of months, and most of the time these AOA tournaments, they have rules on the number of classes each team can bring in a 2v2 or 3v3, right? And usually each team is limited to 1 caster, and even in 1v1s, most of the time in these AOAs, the classes are mainly, you know, they're not caster focused. Actually, there's a very minority in the amount of casters that are in these AOEs. So I'm not sure where Shaky Bay is getting this information from, because it definitely wasn't true in the past 2 or 3 tournaments that I've been a part of in the Arena of Arsha. Next, he talks about how Succession Wizard hasn't got a nerf in 2 years. If you guys don't know, the Succession was released on December of 2019 and is currently around the end of March of 2021, so Succession hasn't even been out for 2 years. Again, if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on this, so I'm not sure where Shaky Bay is getting this information from, or if he's just a little bit delusional. He also says that Wizard hasn't gone nerfed in 5 years, which is just 100% a lie. Wizard had their 100% Bolai BSR skill gutted very hard a couple years ago. In addition to that, they had From Guard removed from Chilling Wave, SA removed from Revamp Hill. Their pet flows were bugged for the longest time, which meant that the increased amount of AP didn't really matter that much for Awakening Wizard, because most of it was locked behind the pet flow, which also had a locked scaling, like it will only scale to a flat amount of AP and didn't go above that. And also, they increased nerf PA by increasing PA timers, then also nerf PA by removing the 999 DR, making a flat percentage of damage reduction. They also reduced nerf Lighthouse by removing the AoE percentage heal and making it just a flat heal. Well, so and there's more nerfs in addition to that I haven't mentioned in this video yet. So next point, he says that buffing other classes to be on the same level with caster is a mistake. Now, I think this is a misunderstanding by a lot of people, and the way I interpreted this when Pearl Bear said this in their interview was basically they want to make classes, excel at the role that individually they're meant to perform, right? So some classes might excel at 1v1s, some classes might excel in small scale, some classes might excel in large scale, right? So buffing up these classes, if a class is weak in PvE, they might upgrade its PvE damage. If a class has issues dealing with evasion, they might give it some additional accuracy, right? So it doesn't mean that buff every class to be on the same level as Succession Wizard in large scale, right? And their oppressiveness in large scale. So I think a lot of people misinterpret that message. The way I saw it was, buff individual classes for the role they specialize in, right? For example, in Siege and Node Wars. Alright, so next, he says that Succession Wizard Witch is a problem in all the regions, not only NA. Includes EU, KR, Taiwan, all those regions. And I just don't think this isn't true. Because I know in EU, the Siege guilds there, they have a pretty good mixture in terms of the class composition. It's a mixture of skirmishers, vacuum classes such as Valkyries, and also casters as well. It's not primarily caster focused like NA is. And I don't think it's a problem in KI as well. Is there a problem on some other regions other than including NA? Yes, I do agree with that. But as a general, if you're going to say like every region has the succession or the caster issue for Siege and Node War, I just don't think that's true at all. And I think Shaky Bear would know that if he, watched some of the VODs from these other regions and actually talked with some of the officers and GMs in these other regions, right? Alright, next, after that, he says that Succession Ranger is balanced because it has damage, but its damage is unprotected, unlike Wizard. I don't think Succession Ranger is really that balanced. I think, especially in Siege, if you're able to glitch yourself behind a wall or sit on the other side of a fence and shoot in or outside of a base without anybody touching you and just spam your one skill, which is the Sending Current, and you get 3 kills with that, I think that's pretty broken. I don't think that's balanced. But that's looking at something very specific, right? And I think that if Shaky Bear actually did a Siege, he would realize this, hopefully. Alright, so second last point. He also says that everything is protected on caster, which, again, is not true. You can look in our skill description if you don't believe me there. And lastly, he says that Succession Wizard doesn't need nerfs, it needs massive nerfs. So again, his goal here in this video isn't to balance the class, is to destroy the class, is to make it so that nobody really wants to play the class anymore because of the amount of nerfs it's going to get, right? Which is my issue with this video. A lot of things he's saying And also the issue with a lot of the other posts that I've seen recently, right, is that they don't want to balance the class, they want to destroy the class. But yeah, so like, apart from that, you know, there's just a lot of lies, a lot of miscommunication, inaccuracies. I don't know how people can take this video seriously or him seriously, but you know, hopefully this, you know, this makes it a little bit more clear for you guys. If you have thoughts or opinions of what I said, leave them in the comments down below. And I'll also leave a link to Shaky Bay's video in the comment section down below if you want to check that out. Please feel free to. But yeah, apart from that, I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the maintenance. Yeah, alright, peace.